Alright, what is going on YouTube? Villese versus Project Belgium in History Hit Open quarterfinals. It's a best of three between these two. Villese has Chinese, Huns, Byzantines, Burgundians, and Project Belgium has Japanese, Mayans, Vikings, Portuguese. We start with Arabia, and then we continue on to Mediterranean or Cross. Those are two home maps selected by the players. Cross was picked by Project Belgium, Mediterranean was picked by Villese. We're still waiting for a spectator countdown to go down. And I think that for Arabia, it's going to be pretty predictable that we are seeing Chinese versus Mayans. Maybe Burgundians versus Mayans can make sense. You could make an argument even for Vikings being used in Arabia, but I feel like Mayans are just a better overall civilization than Vikings are. For doing the same things, Mayans are better than Vikings on Arabia. Huns will probably be Vilese's civilization for Cross, and he will be playing Byzantines on Mediterranean. Whereas on the other side, Project Belgium will probably play Japanese on Cross, and then probably Portuguese on Mediterranean, but that's not entirely clear. It's very possible we will see Vikings as a surprise on Medi. That would be an awkward civ pick because they don't have fire galleys, obviously. But Vikings is not an unprecedented civilization on Mediterranean. If you play defensive styled game, then you might be able to get away with galleys, try to squeeze out an early castlage and then go longbows. That could be a game plan for Project Belgium. We will see. Villese should be the favored one. So I would say if I had to make predictions, I'm going to go 2-1 on Villese. But Project Belgium, it's not impossible for him to surprise his opponent, but it would definitely be an upset to take down Villese over here. The winner of this set will play against the winner of Viper versus ACCM. That already happened, but I'm not going to say who won it just because in case you're watching it in different orders on YouTube, then I don't want to spoil the other sets. So let's jump straight into the first game over here. Welcome to Project Belgium on the right side in orange, and Villese on the left side in blue as Chinese. Two very standard Arabia civilizations. This Arabia script is much more vulnerable than the ordinary or now ranked map pool Arabia scripts. So you see that the players have pretty straightforward walls around their bases. Villese is a forward gold that's pretty exposed, has a backup gold mine over here to potentially work with in case needed. Otherwise, relatively easily volable map. Other side, we'll have Project Belgium with the front gold as well. He's got a beautiful backstone and two backup gold mines to work with as well. There is not a lot more that you can ask for on a map than what Project Belgium has. It's relatively easy to wall. This node is a little exposed, but if you make a barracks here, range here, and just wall this, then you should still be all fine. You probably want to wall all the way to the corner here, so you will have your backup gold and stone. So how is this matchup shaping out? There is some more versatility when it comes to unit composition for the Chinese. On the other hand, when it comes to just archer play, the Mayans should be able to dominate this, and Chinese somewhat struggle against plumed archers. I say somewhat because they still have siege rams available, but I feel like post-Imperial, Mayans are just a lot more efficient than Chinese are, so in many ways I feel like, I'm not saying Mayans is a counterpick to Chinese, but Mayans can do most things that Chinese can, just a little bit better. Looks like Project Belgium for now is pushing deer. He pushed in one, whereas his opponent didn't push any for the time being. Looks like we'll have, let's see, 4 on wood for Villese. So this is not going to be a scouts opening. Probably a bad idea against Mayans. You probably want to just play archer mirrors over here. You could make a case for a man-at-arms opening because your opponent has an eagle that you could easily clean up with that. And in general, you might want to be aggressive with Chinese against Mayans. But I don't think that we're going to see that from Villese. He's probably just going to play with archers. Looks like he's able to potentially contest 2 sheep over here as Villese is pushing deer. Project Belgium is trying to get away with 2 sheep. Villese is making one more push on that deer, and now he's coming back to try and take his sheep back. The thing is that at this point, even if Villese takes those piggies back, Project Belgium will just kill them. So, Villese is almost guaranteed to lose these sheep, or Nope, there is one. And it looks like the other piggy might go back. So, at the end of the day, Villese might be down one sheep. He did push in one deer, so that should compensate very nicely for that. Project Belgium has one idle villager here for quite a while. I wonder what he's waiting for. He's waiting for a premier drush over here. Villese will see the barracks, so he knows exactly that the drush is coming, so he's gonna be prepared for that. One of the more exposed places of his base is the wood line, but it's relatively easy to wall this. Berries are also relatively safe. So I'm not sure what Project Belgium could get out of that drush, but he feels to be committed to go all 3 militias because he's mining 10 gold over here as well. You will only see this gold mine lose 9 gold when Project Belgium is mining 10 because of the Maya and longer lasting resources. So you see the villager is carrying 10 gold, but there is only 9 gold consumed from the gold mine over here. And you see, Villese is not going for the ideal walls because the ideal walls be around here, in front of the gold mine. He's going for tight walls, however, because he knows exactly that Project Belgium is coming in here with the drush, so he just needs to protect it. For now, Project Belgium is trying to keep the walls open with that eagle. The eagle should not be able to win a fight against Dark Age Villager that has Loom. But at this point, it was all about the delay game. Militias are already coming in. Project Belgium is going to eat some damage on his scout from the TC as well. But the bigger deal, I think, is that Villese doesn't know that the north is open. This is a mistake from Villese. This is wide open and Project Belgium could surprise him quite a bit here. Villese tries to yoink the scout of his opponent. That's not going to be successful. Let's see if he turns back and tries to take it down. I think he wants to... He just wants to drag this scout away from the militias. Project Belgium is going to realize what's going on, and he's not going to let that happen. Belgium can still heal his eagle, whereas Villese cannot, so Belgium can just garrison into the TC and do that. Looks like Project Belgium is killing the huntables from Villese over here, just to make sure that he's not going to get any kind of extra food from those. Barracks on the way for our blue player here as well. Project Belgium is coming in for the walls, and it seems like this will be a drush into archers at minimum, but potentially even a drush fast castle with such a wallable map. This last militia has found a hole here, and that could be a very important piece of information for Project Belgium. Knowing that there is a hole there that Villese doesn't know about could give you a perfect timing to potentially hit Villese from behind. Like, once you get up to Castle Age, let's say you have 5 crossbows, you walk in here and you hit the wood line from the back. It's a massive mistake for Villese that that's still open. Project Belgium actually has to go for a huge amount of walls, so that's gonna delay his Castle Age time quite a bit. It looks like this is gonna be a fast castle still. He is open, that's true, but he's gonna see units passing through here. That's the difference. He's gonna see them, and he can still wall this. This is not something that he's gonna see anytime soon, I think. That's the key thing. That down south, he knows he's open. On the north, he doesn't. That's a massive difference here. Because his reactions are based on the assumption that he's walled on the north. Nonetheless, these militias won't be able to accomplish much as Villese is going for what will be a forward archer range play over here, trying to break that fast castle from Project Belgium, and this could work. Because Project Belgium's gold mine is very much exposed here, and Bagum is not even going up to feudal right now. Longer lasting Mayan resources on the huntables and the herdables help a lot when it comes to getting a fast castle going, although these farms are kind of late for Project Belgium. He's on the way to feudal now. The question is, does Villese see the gold mine? And the answer is no! Oh, that hurts so badly for Villese. Had he seen the gold mine, this would be the perfect tower spot. Because you cut off Project Belgium from the gold mine, even if he gets to Castle Age, he won't be able to make archers. Now it's gonna be a tower on the wood line, but this isn't something that should concern Project Belgium. He's gonna lose that wood line, but he knows. You can just go all the way back to this wood line. And it looks like the reason why Villese won't be able to break Project Belgium's fast castle here is because he's just missing information on this primary gold. Something that's very, very lucky for Project Belgium. Like, if Villese saw this, Project Belgium would no longer have this gold mine. Here comes the tower. It's gonna take the shots on the villagers, and Project Belgium will retreat. He's gonna be a little low on food, and because of that, he is still gonna be delayed to Castle Age because he won't be able to afford the buildings to go up. Villagers trying to bash their way through those otherwise pretty weak Dark Age palisades. As Project Belgium is in danger of losing control over his berries. That's a big risk because he's still low on food, and the Villese might be able to break this fast castle here. Because Project Belgium now doesn't have the wood to get both buildings down. There is the range, and there is going to be a blacksmith as well. There is a defensive tower coming up, but that's actually a little too far away from the berries, so the archers can probably stay here and still deny the berries. And without the berries, Project Belgium won't have the food to click up to Castle Age. That's the problem he's facing. That this Drush Fast Castle will end up being more like a late Drush into Archers build, simply because Villese is denying the food, and you see Project Belgium just can't click up. He doesn't have the food for it, and since he's going for state or range blacksmith, eventually, he won't have a market to buy himself up either. Let's see, looks like Villese is switching the angle of attack, still unaware of that gold mine, but he probably suspects that it could be around here. Because he scouted everything else, and it has to be within a certain radius of the TC. It's probably not this close, it's probably not this far. So the only reasonable explanation is if you have your gold mine over here, and now he has a visual confirmation on that. And trust me, he's gonna try to tower that. Project Belgium sent villagers on stone, so he can possibly think about a counter tower, but I don't think that he's gonna have enough stone to drop that tower immediately. Villese might be satisfied with the tower here as well, but looks like he wants to bash his way through those walls. Project Belgium is massing archers himself. The militias, on the other hand, might break into Villese's gold mine here, something that Villese did not see. He's gonna snap down the eagle though with the villagers, but Villese is gonna be off from gold here for a moment because of those militias breaking in. He just didn't see them. Still, nice move to lure away two militias to the TC with the one villager and then use the other one to kill this militia. Quick was now in for Villese. What a play. He didn't lose a single vill there. Now, on the other hand, Project Belgium will be able to hold off those archers as it looks like still no villagers have been lost. Fletching is in for both players, no defense upgrade just yet. Project Belgium also not mixing in a single eagle so far. But as I said, now the more balanced economy of Villese is starting to prevail. So you see that he's actually going to have a better food bank. The militias are still harassing the villagers on the farms, but that's basically it. Towers here are walled in as well for Villese. It's gonna be pretty hard for Project Belgium to clean it up. Villese, bit of a mistake though. He runs into the archers here, loses one villager. That's the first villager casualty of the game. But soon could be followed by a second one if Villese is not careful with these villagers. A lot of his villas are pretty heavily damaged. Trying to lure the militias into a TC fire, and he will be able to do so. Militias from Project Belgium finally go down. Project Belgium is on 3 archers, Villese is on 10 though, so he was able to preserve his archer numbers much easier and much better. 8-2 is the KD, now it's gonna be 10-3 for Villese, and I feel like that tower might actually go up. Project Belgium will just not be able to get archers out here, and Villese is getting close to Castle Age. With such a good forward position, this is just asking for a forward siege workshop on this hill and a push on the gold mine. Project Belgium is pretty heavy on stone, so chances are that when he gets to Castle Age, he will go for the defensive castle and just go for plumed archers. That seems like the most reasonable plan for him. Archers looping around might try to find a couple of villagers here on this wood line, as Project Belgium is a couple of seconds faster compared to Villese into Castle Age. Villese has Bitaxe, same thing for Project Belgium. No horse color for either parties just yet. So, I love how Villese is walling in towers. That's such an underappreciated thing to do, and many people don't do that. And if these towers weren't walled in, Project Belgium would have destroyed them by now with villagers. Anyways, Villese is going to be attacking downhills here against the walls, so that's gonna get him a nice little extra bonus damage against those buildings over there. As we will have an archer coming in to try and harass Villese. Villese is just going to abandon that wood line and fall back. Villese also realizing what's going on here with this hole, so he is going to plug that one in, and he's going to plug this one in as well. Project Belgium pretty close to Castle Age. So now the question is, what will Villese do against Plumed Archers? I feel like if he just walls and plays defensive crossbowmen, or even skirms and booms behind it, that's probably the best choice. Because Project Belgium might not be able to punish Villese for that. And you won't be able to just push Project Belgium's base with mangonels because he will have a defensive castle. There it is. Castle right on the gold mine. It's going to block one side of the gold pretty badly. But I mean, it is going up. And we'll also have Botkin Arrow. Project Belgium hasn't stopped mining stone, which I actually like. Because if he continues to mine stone, that gives him the option to go for a forward cast in the future. So if Villese stops making army and he gets pushed back by Plumed Archers, Project Belgium could follow this up with an aggressive play and a forward castle on what could be the primary gold of Villese, because Villese so far has been consuming a secondary gold and not the primary one. So castle dropping that could be a possibility here for Project Belgium. Belgium is also adding a second town center for himself, grabbing Town Watch to see if there is any crossbows coming in to harass him. Looks like crossbows are coming towards this potential opening. No ballistics for Villese, he's just gonna go for full eco focus, and there are the Plumed Archers for Project Belgium. Villese knows exactly that there is gonna be Plumed Archers, so I'm curious what he's gonna do. I think for now he's just gonna sit behind TCs and play that way. Mangonel for defensive purposes coming in here for Project Belgium. Villese is tempted to dive in, but he thinks twice upon seeing that mangonel, so he's just gonna disengage at the end of the day. Stonewall tile coming in here for Project Belgium to keep those crossbows out. Belgium still needs to be careful because those crossbows are heading to that wood line and many villagers there are damaged, so that's gonna be a couple of villager casualties if he's not paying attention. But more importantly, Project Belgium is just waiting for the moment to move out with his Plumed Archers. He's gonna support that to the mangonel and try to push that TC right away. So far the villager count is dead even, and this is the moment where Project Belgium's unit composition will start to take over compared to the one of Villese here. So you would have a fairly decent amount of archers or Plumed Archers here now for Project Belgium. Villese did manage to pick off a villager here. He's poking and probing on that TC, as we will have Project Belgium launching a counterattack. Still no ballistics on either side. Boso, Horsecolor are in for both. Villese is 2 villagers ahead, plus he has wheelbarrow. That's a little economical advantage for him. Project Belgium is only 2 TCs, whereas Villese is on 3, but this is what I was talking about. Plumed Archers and Mangonels should be able to beat Villase's forces here, and Project Belgium is still on stone, so a second castle is not impossible. Villese once again comes back. Project Belgium reacts, no villagers get picked off. Now here come the crossbows in the middle. These crossbows do have +1 defense. The Plumed Archers don't have any upgrades on them, so the Pierce armor is actually the same, but the HP is much higher for Plumes right now, so Plumes should still win that fight. Looks like they are trying to poke around, see if there's anyone on the wood lines. Mangle actually gets a big hit in on top of those crossbows, and I think that Project Belgium just wants to intercept those. He's slowly getting outboomed by Villese here, and that's something that needs to be considered. But this might be the window for Project Belgium for a forward castle, and that would be a massive move, because that would cut off Villese from his primary gold, and his other secondary gold is also right here. So a castle here denies a secondary stone, a secondary gold, and a primary gold. That would be an absolute thing of beauty here for Project Belgium, and there is a couple of vills here, so I think he's thinking about it. He is thinking about it. The crossbows could intercept the villagers though, so he's gotta be very careful. Project Belgium! No! What are you doing? He did not see the crossbows, and he's gonna lose all the forward vills. He had the army to get this castle up, but he's gonna throw away so many vills, and that's gonna delay that castle so much. I mean, at this point, he should still be able to get that castle up, but that's gonna delay him quite heavily, and at this point, Villese just needs time to materialize that now 11 villagers lead that he has, and I feel like At this pace, this castle drop might be just too late from Project Belgium, because by the time it happens, Villese will have his own defensive castle. He might even make it over here. That was an opportunity lost for Project Belgium. That being said, Villese might not be able to get his castle up because he simply doesn't have the army to secure ground. Here come the castles. Can Villese get this castle up? This is for the game. This is for the game, and I don't know if Villese can get this up. He's up against 2 Mangonels. The Mangonel from Villese is actually going to go down. This castle is not going up for Villese. And if that's the case, it doesn't matter that he's got the better economy. All he can do is just hope that he can get to Imperial faster to try and trap down that castle. He's going to lose that Mangonel 1-0 as well. Villese is about to lose that TC, and the Plumed Archers are ready to hunt the villagers that are popping out of that. And if you look at this, Project Belgium, he pulled all his gold miners from his primary gold to do this. He's gonna mine gold on Vilese's gold mine now. And now he's thinking about Imperial Age. Because the next step for him is going into Imp to make sure that Villese can't just go for defensive cast and trap this down. But Project Belgium now is in the driver's seat, and Villese is on a serious timer, as he basically has no access to gold. Switching into elite skirms against Mayans is a very, very disappointing sight to see. Project Belgium now starting to smash the eco of Villese, and as the wheels start going down, Villese steps out, and Project Belgium wins the game. That castle had to happen here. If this didn't work out for Project Belgium, then he would have been in trouble, because then Villese would just outboom him. But this castle came in just in time. There were some sloppy moments here for Project Belgium. Losing all those villagers moving forward was a mistake. But regardless, he managed to get the castle up, and with that forward position was able to push back Villese. And Villese is dead here, so he's at 7 army, he's got 7 crossbowmen right now against 13 plumed archers with an open wall, a denied forward gold, and I mean, at this point these plumed archers would just shred his eco. So, a bit of a surprising win here for Project Belgium. As I said, Villese is the favorite of the set, but not by an enormous margin. So Project Belgium definitely has his tools, and we will have Chinese being a loss and Mayans being a win here. For Project Belgium, we're going to the home map of Villese, which is Mediterranean. So we should have Byzantines versus what? That's the question. Maybe Vikings will be used on a cross by Project Belgium and he will just go Japanese here. I struggle to see how Vikings would perform in Mediterranean. I don't think it's actually a good matchup for Vikings. So I feel like you gotta go for something else than Vikings here. Portuguese can also work, but then you're not gonna use your Vikings at all, right? Here it goes, Mediterranean. We're jumping into the next game. And it's going to be Byzantines versus Portuguese. Faster firing fire galleys or fire ships versus stronger fire ships is the name of the game here. Alrighty. So, we have 1 minute spectator countdown, then we can jump into the next game. Byzantines versus Portuguese. Over here, Villese versus Project Belgium. Project Belgium just needs one more game for a match point. And he would be in the semifinals. So, that would be an upset if he 2-0'd Villese over here. I still think that Villese might have a slightly better civilization for this map, but we will see. All right, here we go. Let's jump into the game. So, we are gonna have on the right side of the map Project Belgium as Portuguese in orange, and to the left it's gonna be Villese as blue Byzantines. So Byzantines versus Portuguese. It is a civilization matchup where Byzantines will probably get the early advantage and also like the post-imperial advantage, but mid-game should be favoring Portuguese quite a bit. That's what Project Belgium has to play for. The two players are relatively far apart for Mediterranean standards, and Project Belgium has a little cliff in here that helps with the walling. So easy wall off on this side for Project Belgium. Others, for Villese, it's gonna take a little bit more effort to wall his front, and in general, I kind of don't like that he's got a hill here in front of his base. So I think Villase's base is a little bit more exposed. On the bright side of things, Villese has a little bay here that he could use for fishing. We'll see if he's gonna do that. It's possible he's gonna go for the dock over here. If he does so, that's pretty unfortunate because he only has one deep fish close to a starting dock. A dock over here would perform slightly better, I would say. Meanwhile, for Project Belgium, he doesn't have to overcomplicate this. He has a lot of deep fish close here, so either here or here. He can just go for a dock. For now, he's pushing in deer, which works fine. You're gonna get a nice little extra boost of food from the hunt because you're gonna get it faster from hunt than you do from herdables. You can still scout the map later for extra herdables though, because on this version of Mediterranean, looks like capture is lagging pretty heavily. I wonder if it's something that's worth restarting. So, what I was up to is, as I said, you can find some extra herdables here, and that's exactly what Villese is thinking. Get a couple of extra sheep, because the more sheep you have, the easier it is to maintain a sustained food income in feudal age, and that's actually something that helps a lot getting into castle age. So if you have like 10 extra sheep, you can delay adding farms by quite a bit, and that helps you immensely at just getting to castle age a little faster, because you don't have to add villagers to wood and then start adding villagers to farms. You can just add them right on sheep, and it's gonna help you bridge that gap between Dark Age and sort of that mid-castle age. This is a win for Project Belgium here. Yep, it is. So Villese is gonna lose his starting scout, but he managed to get some extra sheep for himself, so he's up to 11. Let's see if Project Belgium finds a couple of herdables for himself. Looks like he's gonna miss out on these guys. It's very unfortunate for him. He might actually find them on the way back home. Dogs coming for both players. Since Villese lost his scout and Project Belgium has free HP, they don't need to wall in the villagers because they know exactly that there is absolutely no chance for those villagers to be picked off on the docks. At least not now. So as things stand, everything is nice and peaceful as you would expect. Neither of the players have a major advantage over the other. I think that Villese is going to have a better feudal age because of those extra herdables. On the other hand, he has no idea what Project Belgium is doing, so he's got no scout. This is a perfect time for Project Belgium to maybe surprise him with some archers in mid-feudal age or so, because Project Belgium won't get scouted by Villese anytime soon. By the way, speaking of Project Belgium, all of his minerals are at the back, so that helps immensely when it comes to defending. Like, the only resource that he really has exposed on Villase's side is the berries, but that's not the primary thing for him. He pushed in free deer for himself, and he's about to click up the feudal age. As I said, the only thing that I'm missing for Project Belgium is a couple of extra sheep that he's desperately looking for, but he just can't find any. He missed out on 6 down south here. He might still bump into them because there is nothing else that he can do with a free HP scout other than scouting. It's not like he can try to harass villagers or something. So he might bump into a couple of those. So, let's see. Project Belgium on the way to Castle Age. Castle Age? What am I talking about? Feudal Age. Standard Gather Rush build order over here. Going with free on gold with Portuguese. That's perfectly fine because of your gold discount. Villese is gonna click up at approximately the same time as well. Both players at 1 second of town center idle time. So very similar build so far for the two players. And it's gonna be pretty much forward dock here for Villese. So the two players will be close to each other. Let's see if Villese is gonna try to hit that scout with a villager. It's one hit, so he could try jumping on it with a villager and just trying to finish it off. Looks like that's not gonna be the case. Let's see where's the second dock at for Project Belgium. Pretty close to the initial one. And I think with Portuguese, you might be able to afford 3 docks pretty early. But at the beginning, it's going to be 2 docks that favors the Byzantines. So, Villese coming in here with the first couple of fire galleys. Same thing for Project Belgium. Project Belgium can also squeeze in double attacks just like Villese. And as things stand, we are going to see an even battle. But at the beginning, it looks like Villese is faster, adding a third dock. Plus, he's going to have the Byzantine fire galleys. So the advantage on the water will be on the side of our blue player, Villese. And Project Belgium will be in a bit of a trouble if he doesn't get some good demo hits in for himself. So, for the time being, no land aggression as you would expect, and we're just going to see good old-fashioned fire galley micro. Both players have somewhat exposed fishing eco, and I would prefer if Villese actually pulled these fishing ships and pushed them all the way back here, because the difference between the two players is that Project Belgium has his fishing eco sort of at the backside, so it's pretty hard for Villese to reach them right now, whereas Project Belgium could reach Villese's fishing eco pretty easily over here. And as we had a bit of a scuffle over here, both sides with some damaged ships, we will have some repairs coming in. Now, if Project Belgium could demo snipe some of those fishing ships, that would be pretty massive, because it could give him a nice little advantage in here in terms of eco. Villese got housed for a brief moment, so that's going to set him back a couple of seconds in production. But as things stand, it's a dead even water fight. Here come the fire galleys from Villese. Meanwhile, it is fire galleys harassing Project Belgium's eco, and that is gonna be an absolutely beautiful demo there for Villese. Project Belgium hasn't lost a single ship just yet, though, and that's something that shouldn't be underestimated. Getting a ship damaged and losing it is two very different things here. Losing ships is what you have to avoid. Damaged ships are not really a big deal because you can repair them, but losing ships is not something that you can afford to let happen, as it looks like Project Belgium will retreat for repairs for the time being. As things stand, we have a lot of lag spikes here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna restart Capture Age, because it looks like we have some lag issues. Here's the game for you guys until Capture Age is back in action. So, looking at the game right now, as a Capture Age is gonna wake up. It doesn't scale perfectly to the screen, so I might need to... What's happening with Capture Age? Why is it not scaling perfectly to the screen? Okay, now it's good. Apologies for technical difficulties. Hopefully we're now good. Anyways, as things stand, it's 7 versus 8 fire galleys. We saw some somewhat underwhelming demos from both sides. The overall HP on the ships, however, seemed to be better for Project Belgium until that demo comes in, which is gonna kill one ship, damage one another very heavily. Let's see if Villese can get a good demo in here. He could get a good demo, but it ended up being pretty underwhelming. And as things stand, Project Belgium is actually pushing Villese back. Still, both sides are losing fire galleys, but looking at the food bank of Project Belgium, I'm a little bit more convinced about his position now. Villese still has herdables working, and this is what I was talking about. Those herdables can help a lot, delaying your transition to farming eco. Right now, it's 2 versus 4 in the fire galley department. KDs are relatively even. Project Belgium has a slight lead in kill death ratio. His scout is idle, which is actually a mistake. Obviously, he's focusing on the water micro a lot, but even auto-scouting could actually make some sense, although auto-scouting is a little risky here, because if you do that, and you run into your opponent's DC and you lose your scout, then you won't have the chance to scout in the future for forward buildings. So there's a risk involved in that. Looks like Project Belgium doesn't want to take that risk. He's content with the amount of sheep he has. Both sides are actually making markets. I also see blacksmith from Project Belgium, so there's a chance we will see stone selling here, as Villese is closer to Castle Age than his opponent is. Demos from Project Belgium coming in, but they're pretty underwhelming. And if you don't get good demo connections, then Project Belgium is just going to lose water, and I feel like now Villese is snowballing water here. We're seeing 2 fire galleys versus 4, and one of those fire galleys for Project Belgium are heavily damaged. That being said, he still has his fishing eco operational, and he might be able to take down 1 fire galley over there. Very nice repairs over here from him. Here comes the demo Villese. He will try to kill the repair villager, but that's going to be unsuccessful. Still, fire galley goes down, as another one could fall from Project Belgium. Now is the time where he's losing his numbers, and he just can't repair them. Castle Age on the way for Villese a little faster. He did not end up selling his stone, so he's just going up on vanilla resources. Project Belgium is also getting close to that, and Belgium knows that he's losing water. So he knows exactly that, okay, I'm losing water. I need to start thinking about land aggression. And this is the moment where Villese needs to start walling himself. Because, okay, I'm winning water, very nice. I'm gonna have the advantage in terms of fishing eco. What I need to accomplish now is make sure that my opponent won't overrun me on land, and you do that by walling yourself. That's the next thing here for Villese. He's got a nice little house wall over here, so his eco is partially protected, but it's not full walls right now. His gold mine at the back is safe though, and that's what matters at this point. Double ranges for Project Belgium, so he's just gonna switch into crossbowman over here. But now that the pond is in the hands of Villese, you see Villese is still adding navy because he's not 100% sure that Project Belgium gives up on it just yet. But Villese, once he's content with his water control, he will start adding extra fishing ships for some additional economy benefit of the water control. Double range is up for Belgium. He is missing fletching right now, but for now he just wants archer numbers. Now, here's the deal. Villese is not really bothering walling himself on the front, so there could be some troublesome moments for him here, should these crossbows start moving up. So, as things stand, we will have Project Belgium just coming in with a demo. He tries to demo snipe the fish of the opponent, but that's not gonna happen. Villese going for War Galley, that should seal the deal on water. But now you should start to realize that, okay, he's gonna get pushed on land. He's going for 2 additional TCs, both of them at the back. So the front of his base is a little bit open, as he will place a monastery here. So we will have monastery up for monks with redemption. And redemption monks should be able to hold a manganose push here without any major problems. Forward Siege Workshop on the way for Project Belgium. He's gonna come in with the crossbows. Now, monks will be great at holding off the mangonels themselves, but not the crossbows. And you're gonna wonder if Villese knows about those ranges. The answer is no. Villese is a little blind over here, and to me it kind of feels like he's just looking for Project Belgium's redocking attempt. And I'm a little scared for Villese right now. He still has the town watch on his buildings thanks to Byzantines, and he has a pretty convincing eco lead now. You see he's up to 7 fishing ships, plus free TC boom. On the other hand, this could be really easily punished by Project Belgium, because here come the crossbows. Villese will react. But Villese doesn't have a siege workshop right now, and monks alone won't stop this. He needs a siege workshop that's coming in just now. Looks like Project Belgium is getting a second mangonel in. And what's bigger is that the siege workshop is up here, but you're gonna need some walls down south to prevent the crossbows from running past. The siege workshop is getting denied though. And redemption is very expensive. This is something that needs to be considered here for Project Belgium, that he's denying a siege workshop, which means no defensive mangonels for now. And he's also against a player that's gonna have to spend a huge amount of gold on redemption to stop those mangonels, and you see that's not really the case right now. The crossbows still don't want to get converted. There is one conversion, but I think that Project Belgium at this point is happy that he just lost the crossbow to conversion and not something more precious. He's going for a second TC as well. Obviously, Vilese's eco is going to be much stronger here, so this is going to come down to whether or not Project Belgium can do enough damage. And you see, he's waiting for that villager to try and build that siege workshop. The end result is that Villese will just bring in mangonels from another siege workshop here. A battering ram is also going to join the party, as now we have defensive mangonels out for Villese. I think Villese will try to finish the siege workshop nonetheless, because that helps a lot. Just popping out a mangonel in the face of the opponent, plus it also acts as a bit of a wall. Mangonel takes the shot on the ram. You probably want the ram to start knocking on those walls, because that would require Villese to send the mangonel this way to help. Those are some nice 1-for-1s over there. The monastery is still pretty close to going down. Mangonel taking a shot on Project Belgium's mangonel. The monastery is gonna be down, that's guaranteed. So the next step for Project Belgium is breaking through this defensive line over here. Mangonel coming in here to repair. 21 villagers lead though for Villese now though. He's got 7 fishing ships, but those are very, very efficient over here. And I think he could easily add a couple more. And I feel like at this pace, especially considering that he's mining stone, he will just go for a defensive castle and Project Belgium won't be able to break through here. I feel like Villese already defended long enough to hold this one off. And this is just going to get worse and worse for Project Belgium. He's going to be heavily outnumbered in terms of villager numbers. And now he just eats a big mangonel shot in his face. That was the perfect mangonel shot there for Villese. Killed like 4, damaged a lot more. And at this point, 28 to 16 KD is looking very, very good for Villese. 93 against 65 population as well for Villese here. There is redemption against the mangonels. But Villese just needs to hold on for like a minute more. Delete 2 farms here, make a castle there. That should hold off this aggression. Behind this one, Project Belgium has 1 relic, 0 right now for Villese. Mangonel still trying to take shots on the TC, but that's a Byzantine TC, so it has more HP. Plus there is repair villagers and defensive mangonels. Now Redemption Monk is coming in. Still trying his best to get a conversion. Redemption is in as well for Project Belgium, so he actually wants to convert the mangonel here. And he does. He does get the conversion. And in the end, it's gonna come down to Project Belgium deleting the mangonel, killing the monk with it. Still insufficient for Project Belgium. The word is insufficient. That this is not enough to compensate for the 20 villagers deficit. Project Belgium has 0 army right now. With the delete trick of Villese, this mangonel also goes down from Bagum, and Bagum is pretty much out of juice with this push. And that's just gonna mean that his opponent will have 3 TCs. Someone at the beginning of this set asked if Fetorias are banned on all maps. Nope. They're only banned on islands. And I feel like, as gimmicky and as weird as it sounds, Fetorias might be Project Belgium's only hope here. He's not gonna catch up with villagers. He's not far away from Imperial though. And Feitoria eco could work. I'm not saying it's the ideal situation. In fact, it's less than 5% chance, I would say, for Project Belgium. But, well, that's still probably his best bet. Because as things stand, he's outnumbered very heavily. He's 40 population behind. So, looks like Project Belgium actually wants to redock here. I just feel like the water is somewhat more insignificant now. Like, sure enough, if you take the water back entirely, then that's gonna give you a massive chance to just harass the opponent from the water side. But I feel like at this pace, Villese is gonna have like 15-20 Arbalest and 5 Bombard Cannons in the next couple of minutes. And look at this. Villese is actually coming in, converting houses. Because Project Belgium would lose those houses and Villese would get them. Actually, Project Belgium needs to delete them. Because even if he loses them, it's still better not to have, you know, Villese converting them. Imperial Age is just gonna come in for Project Belgium, although he's not missing buildings, right? He is missing buildings! He is missing buildings because he lost the Siege Workshop. I'm just realizing. He had to delete the Siege Workshop to avoid conversion, right? And it doesn't matter that you had the buildings previously. You need them in the moment you want to click up. So losing the Siege Workshop means he only has a monastery, so he needs to make a university to click up. Or, yeah. He now has the chance to click up over here. Castle from Villese coming in. Bracer already on the way. Arbalest is coming in, but I only count one range. Yeah, it's only one range. Project Belgium was trying to redog, but that was just insufficient effort. And oh, that's where the ranges are. Are you sure? I'm like 99% sure, because it happened to me before. That you need the two buildings the moment you click up. Alright, Crossbow's now in here for Project Belgium. He's trying to stop this forward, but that's not gonna happen. He has Crossbows with Botkin Arrow, no defense. Villese has Arbalest with Bracer, +1 defense, Chemistry on the way, Tumbling, he's also has that. Project Belgium just wants to buy himself time, goes for defensive castle, stone walls, but at this pace, he's gonna have less than like 25% map control. Villese will have the chance to pick up all the relics, although Project Belgium managed to snag 2 of them, but I feel like he's just gonna get suffocated here. He won't have anywhere to go, no space, not a lot of resource to work with in the next 15 minutes. Like, he still has his gold mines, stone mines, but I feel like he just has insufficient map control for this. Arbalasts are now coming in, and you see they're taking the hill and picking off villagers already. So, castle, 2 villagers are able to build a castle, and that's gonna be insanely hard to get rid of. It's a 7,000 HP Byzantine castle on a hilltop. And now we have Ring Archer armor coming in as well for Villese. Villese just seems to be one step ahead all the time. 3.9k army value versus 1.3k. 155 population versus 112. I just don't see a win condition for Project Belgium unless this game is like super crazy long, but that just doesn't seem like that's gonna be the case. The moment that Villese sees Project Belgium going for crossbows, he's gonna start adding skirms, of course, because with Byzantines, he can easily do that, and then this would force Project Belgium to switch into cavalry, which is something that Project Belgium just doesn't have time for. Project Belgium has the numbers over here with the Arbs, but he doesn't have the armor, so this is a fight that Villese still could have taken and still end up being in a pretty decent spot. Project Belgium calls the GG. Like, I think Belgium just saw the castle there, and he was like, okay, there is no way. And he probably was right. He just has 0 map control, and Villese, looking much more convincing in the second game, takes this one, and we're going to decide our game. So, let's add the scores, and we have Byzantines being a victory, and Portuguese being a loss. So, next up is the home map of Project Belgium, which is Cross, and I think that the better civilization belongs to Villese here. He's probably gonna pick Huns. Huns in general are very good on hybrid maps, but the thing that makes them special here, as compared to the Japanese, is that you will have cav archers, and that's something that Japanese will struggle against in the long run, especially once you can use your mobility. As long as it's direct engagements, the Japanese have a decent matchup against cav archers, but the moment it starts to become a matter of mobility, so the Huns being the aggressors, and they are the ones forcing engagements, Japanese stand little chance. Anyways, Hans versus Japanese, as you would expect. We are just waiting for the spectator countdown to finish, and then we will be able to jump into game number 3 here, decider game. The winner of this one plays against either Viper or ACCM, the winner of the previous quarterfinals. Alright, so match point, 1 more minute of spec countdown remaining. And after this set, we'll have one more quarterfinals. That is Dogao versus Doubt. That's the final quarterfinals of the day. Alrighty, so here we go. Game number 3, get some hype, because in the next couple of moments, well, more like minutes, we will see who gets into History Cup semifinals. So, let's see what we have over here. We'll have Villese playing as Blue Hans. To the south, to the north is gonna be Project Belgium as Orange. And, well, the layout of the map is very interesting in many ways. Something that actually favors Japanese here. As I said, Hans would use the mobility very nicely here, but do you need mobility when the two players are like basically neighbors? It's not left versus right, it's not a north versus south, it's more like two players on the eastern side of the map. Villese will probably be still using this pond in the south, and Project Belgium will probably be using this one. But the short distance between the two players would make land aggression much more appealing, I think, for either parties. We will see when they figure out that they are so close, because that's the interesting thing to look at. You see, Villese is looking for his opponent around the... Wait, no, that's just his own base. Never mind, I'm also getting tired. So, for a moment I thought he's gonna start looking for his opponent this way, but that's not the case. He's just scouting his own base for the time being. One of the interesting things to look at is that the gold mines on this map actually sort of form a circular shape. You see one over here, one over here, one over here, then one over here, and all the way around like this. So that's just a nice little thing over here. Okay, so as things stand, I don't think that either of these players are aware of the opponent's close vicinity. But the moment that Project Belgium sees that stone mine, he should know. Let's see. He's got pretty good scouting already thanks to the sheep. And now he's heading this way. You see, he's expecting Villese to be here. That's the most reasonable place for Villese to be in. It could be a bit of an indicator that you bumped into a 2-tile gold mine, that Villese is not close. And you see, Project Belgium is looking for his opponent, but he's nowhere to be found. For Villese, for now, he's pushing deer, and that's basically it. Looks like Bogum is going for the backtalk, and we'll probably have the same approach from Villese at the end of the day. Project Belgium is probably like, where is this guy? He should soon know that he has to be around here then. But you see, he's looking for a villager here, sees that there is no Vil, so this is not the pond of the opponent. Villese is gonna do the exact same thing. So you see, he's on the left, so he's anticipating his opponent to be on the right, which is absolutely not right, because his opponent is so close. Alrighty, so for now, Villese has his first board in. He also pushed in one deer. Project Belgium also pushed in one deer, and he's gonna have his second board coming in a moment. Meanwhile, Project Belgium is still looking for that dock, and he will eventually find it. Look at how significant portion of the map Project Belgium had to explore to find his opponent. Villese sees the 4,000 of gold, so you should know that Project Belgium is close by now. Because 4,000 of gold always is close to your opponent's base. And indeed, he's gonna find the wood line of his opponent. Meanwhile, Project Belgium is also gonna find the dock of his opponent. So now that the two players are pretty close, the Japanese could think about the Bennett armies opening. That's a very possible option for them. Whereas for Huns, it's possible to open scouts over here. It depends on whether or not you want to sneak docks on your opponent. So far, I don't see a sneaky villager from either side, so we might just have fish at the back and then land aggression from both. Villese with one fishing ship, Project Belgium already at 2. So as things stand, we have Villese coming in with Loom. That's gonna be about a 23 pop fuel pretty fast. Project Belgium is gonna click up a little later, I believe. So I'm tempted to believe that this will be a Man-at-Arms play from Project Belgium and probably scouts from Villese. Now, scouts against Japanese might not work that well, so I actually prefer the Japanese opening here. And indeed, villagers are being sent to gold. Considering that you have to walk a long distance all the way around and your opponent's scout is full HP, I don't think that you risk sneaking a villager around. So chances are that we're just going to see land fighting and no villager will be going forward here to get a dock up on the opponent. So here come the militias. Project Belgium housed for a brief moment. That's going to set his man-at-arms production back. Villese will see the man-at-arms coming, so no surprise about that one. And oh, man-at-arms towers. Now that is a little bit more interesting. Project Belgium is going for towers, whereas his opponent is mining gold. I think it's just straight archers from Villese here, because he's mining gold, but making a barracks, and there is no 4 villagers, so the only reasonable explanation is if you have an archer play. Now, the gold mine here is pretty safe for Villese. The wood line is kind of exposed, and Villese is going to have to go for small walls over here to keep this one, safe. The scout of Project Belgium for now is trapped inside, and I think the villagers need to make the tower around here. If they make a tower there, that denies the gold, that denies the wood, and opens up the possibility for the men-at-arms to knock through the walls there. And Villese will need to counter tower that. That's an outpost only for Project Belgium. I think he's just baiting a tower right now. But that's not even seen by Villese. If this was a tower, then Villese probably wouldn't have known about that one. Scouts are now chasing each other, archers coming in for Villese. One of the things that Project Belgium will have to be careful about is that, once a couple of archers are out for Villese, he could easily counterattack, as Project Belgium adds a 4th militia over here. Soon men-at-arms. Counter tower is coming in here. This is just gonna be an even tower fight here, and probably Villese is gonna win it in the end. However, this forces Villese off from wood. This forces Villese off from gold, and that's exactly what Project Belgium needs. It looks like both players will lose their scouts to the men-at-arms, as now we have a rage out. For Villese, he can squeeze out a couple of archers from the gold he has, but not an awful lot, as it looks like Project Belgium will bail on this one. He's on stone, so he could drop a tower on the wood line and still say, okay, I'm not gonna deny your gold, but I'm gonna deny your wood, as archers are now out for Villese. The problem that Project Belgium is facing is that he has nothing against archers. So if Villese weathers this initial storm, he can just go and pick off the men-at-arms and the archers, launch a counterattack towards Project Belgium's base, and there is absolutely nothing on this planet that Project Belgium can do to stop those archers right now. He is getting close to an archer range, and he needs one, I think. I'm not sure why you quick wall your villagers against archers, but that's a disaster for Project Belgium. That's a disaster, and Villese is even pulling villagers to wall that tower in. This is what I was talking about. 4 men-at-arms was a little too excessive over here, I believe. Because your opponent is going archers, Maybe Project Belgium anticipated Villese to go for for scouts, and that's why he had the 4th man at arms. But against archers, this just doesn't work. That's the thing. Because you delay your skirms or your own archers so much that you won't be able to kill the archers over here. Project Belgium did not delete the tower just yet. Now the men-at-arms are in. And this could cause some problems here for Villese. These are pretty dangerous, but honestly, if the quick walls are right for Villese, he's gonna be all good. If the quick walls are right, Project Belgium's men-at-arms are not doing anything though. Oh, what a blunder! I mean, those wall foundations are pretty weak, and the men-at-arms for Japanese are really powerful. So they can easily knock through wall foundations, but Project Belgium's men-at-arms were just idle there. Some skirms will join the party. Villese will try to loop around and hit the wood line from behind, as the men-at-arms are now trying to force some idle time on that gold mine, but a couple of archers should clean them up. And what's bigger is that Villese is coming in here with a couple of archers. He is missing fletching. Speaking of fletching, that's something that Project Belgium has, and Bugum is not giving up. He wants to take that tower up. Will that matter? I don't think so. I don't think this tower is actually important right now. What is it going to give to Project Belgium? He can deny 3 villagers from accessing wood, but there is still wood lines at the back for our orange or for our blue player. Defensive tower is up for Project Belgium. There is some skirms coming in here to defend, so this aggression from Villese should not work out. And there's going to be a second tower being built here by Project Belgium. Villagers are being pulled to knock this down. Let's see if Project Belgium can quick wall this. No quick walls just yet. Villese is just going to rush this tower down here with Vills. And there is archers supporting coming in. Project Belgium's skirms are mispositioned, so there is no one to kill the archers with. Oh my goodness, that's a disaster. That's a disaster for Project Belgium. It's -1 Vill, -2 Vills. The tower goes up, but it's gonna go down immediately, pretty much. And when the tower goes down, it's -2 more Vills for Project Belgium, potentially, unless the archers freak out and just loop around like this. Looks like Project Belgium survives with 2 Vills. Both players have only 1 pond, but Villese is already getting the right-hand side one. So it's gonna be 6 fishing ships for Villese versus 7 from Project Belgium, but Project Belgium, as I said, doesn't have a second dock just yet. And, well, it looks like the food bank is gonna be much better for Villese, adding a stable now to get some scouts in. Project Belgium is very resilient with that tower, and he still wants to get that up. I just don't think that's gonna happen. Doubtful, thank you so much for a Prime sub. Welcome back. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you, thank you. Men-at-arms are now put to use to destroy that mill. That helps a little bit because at least Villese doesn't have food income from the berries. Project Belgium is also just now going for the berries here. But if you look at the food bank, that looks way more promising for Villese. He's trying to take the hunt as well. Skirms find this, so they could maybe pick off 1 or 2 villagers here. We will see about that one. Yeah, they can probably just do harassment, and that's basically it. In fact, they bail out. So the villagers for Villese will be able to happily hunt. Looks like Project Belgium will find the pond of Villese over here. Villese, however, has a galley here, and that galley should deny a villager from getting a forward dock up, unless it's getting distracted by a skirm. That galley is meant to deny a forward dock here from Project Belgium, as some archers are about to hit the gold mine of Bugum. Bugum is gonna have to evacuate the gold mine temporarily, and the big deal here is that Castle Age is on the horizon for our blue player, and not for our orange one. So once we get to Castle Age, Villese can just play this one with full knights, double stable knights with Huns, and the faster working stable should work perfectly fine. Villese might end up losing 1 villager over here, but I'm not even sure about that one. Yeah, look at this. Skirms being lured into the galley fire, and the villager is just running. This villager might actually survive. It's gonna be a little close, and he needs some micro from Villese, and Project Belgium really wants that Vill. He really wants that villager, and he's gonna get it. He's gonna get that 1 villager over there. Still trying to bash his way through the walls here, because Villese stopped making archers. So there is not much that Villese can do against this aggression, and the fact that there is some leftover men-at-arms means that Project Belgium can get through the walls. Villese just now clicked up, and he still has a layer of walls to hold the intruders in check. But it's getting a little bit more heated up as we speak, as Project Belgium was thinking about running past the TC here, but then decided not to. Now that he's not pushing this though, Villese is gaining a massive lead because there's a second stable. And Project Belgium will just have archers and no crossbows anytime soon. Like, he's gonna get beaten to Castle Age by like 4 or 5 minutes, and when you are so close to the opponent, you just can't survive that. Villese will follow up the initial couple of knights at the forward siege workshop and push this gold mine with mangonels, and that's it. Looks like Project Belgium probably realizes that he's behind in Castle Age timing, so that's why he's making multiple defensive towers, but it shouldn't matter. So, double stable knights on the way for Villese. Not a single cav archer, but I don't think that he even needs one, so that's perfectly fine. We got fire galleys out for Project Belgium to try and harass the fishing eco of Villese on the right side over here. As we got 2 scouts as well for Villese lurking around. The scouts have bloodlines and +1 defense, so they can actually do quite a bit of a damage over here, even without the support of knights. And there goes one villager. And we will have a couple more going down here for Project Belgium with these knights. So, skirmishers all getting cleaned up, and the archers don't perform particularly well against knights that have +2 defense. There's only +1 defense for Villese over here, but that is still enough to take okay/decent fights. Behind this one, Project Belgium, I don't think that he even realized that his villagers are getting beaten up here at the back by scouts. Ecos are still even, but Project Belgium hasn't clicked up to Castle Age yet. He's got Japanese at spearmen that attack faster, so there is some positives about this one, but that's basically all I can say. I just don't think that there is anything that Project Belgium can do anymore. He's denying a wood line over here, nice, but that's basically it. Quick walls are coming in for Bagum, and he can click up, he's just too busy quick walling. You see he's now floating 1100 food. He's just too busy microing his units to click up. For whatever reason, Villese is taking this stone. That is because his primary stone is denied. And Project Belgium is like, oh, GG. What happened? Why did Project Belgium say, oh? Oh, I see. He probably forgot to click up. Yeah, maybe he thought he's like halfway up already, and he's looking at the TC and say, oh, I didn't click up, then I'm dead. Yeah, the other thing is that he probably saw the scouts killing the wheels, so he probably looked at his wood line and said, hey, I have one villager here, and I haven't clicked up to Castle Age, it's probably over, and it was over. Project Belgium forced to Villese after winning Game 1 Arabia. Villese is going into the semifinals to face off against the winner of Viper versus ACCM.